Okay, so hello everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Come back to our discussion. Yes. So who all are live? Yes, Ravi. Good evening. Good evening, Pratosh. Aditya. Good evening. Yes. Then Sony Balyan. Good evening. Vrinda. Good evening. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. So today we will try to cover at least 5 news, right? Some in detail, some in short, means with respect to the exam importance. Okay. So without wasting our time further, first news which I am going to cover is the which should be covered last time, but due to some reason class could not be completed. But yes, let's proceed from there itself. So last time, means in the last week, this Bandhavgarh Forest Reserve was in the news, and I hope all of you came across this piece of article. And Archaeological Survey of India, right? So they conducted their excavations there, and they found certain artifacts, right? So before I discuss all the important aspect related to it, let me check your memory that whatever you remember so far. This is the last week news, right? So how many things you remember? What you remember about this site? How many things you remember? What is the significance of this excavation or regarding Bandhavgarh forest? Yes, tell me. Yes, Ashu, a very good evening. Yes, Yaksh, good evening. Good. Sachin, good evening. Yeah, so I hope all of you got my question. So what you remember right now with respect to this excavation? क्या क्या याद है आप लोगों को? How this excavation is significant? Yes, tell me. Yes. Good evening, Roshan. Good evening. Yes, tell me. What is the special about this excavation? कुछ याद आ रहा है या नहीं? जल्दी yes no तो बता दो कम से कम. Yes, at least tell me yes no. कुछ याद आ रहा है? My question is, we are discussing Bandhavgarh Forest Reserve excavation, right? Bandhavgarh. It was in the news last time. यस, क्या क्या याद है आप लोगों को? अच्छा, नहीं है याद. ओके, नो सर. यस, गुड इवनिंग विक्रम. यस, ठीक है. आई ओके, नाउ लेट मी रिमाइंड यू. At this site, some temple was excavated, right? Unearthed one of the Vara, this is structure of the Lord Vishnu, Vara avatar, right? That idol was there. One of the, I mean, it is considered as one of the largest of that period, right? One of the largest of that period. It was there, right? Apart from that, the significant part is which I am stressing, which UPSC may also stress, and you can use it example that this Bandhavgarh region, it is in part of Madhya Pradesh, and that too part, this is the part near Malwa region, right? And what is the significance about this thing is that Buddhist site was excavated, means there was some reminiscence of cave, some Buddhist architecture. So it shows that this region is ruled by the Hindu ruler. Hindu ruler. Can anyone tell me what is the name of that Hindu ruler? What dynasty was there? So the surprising thing is, the surprising element is Buddhist site in a Hindu dominated region. It shows that there could have been there's a possibility of religious harmony. Region was dominated by Hindu, because before that again it was Guptas. You have to tell me the name of the dynasty, and before that dynasty Vakataka, right, and your Gupta period was there, Gupta empire was there, again that belonged to Hindu. So within Hinduism, within a Hindu belt or Hindu dominant region, there was Buddhist site. That is the specialty about this region. So which shows that religious harmony was there, even though the king was the follower of Hindu god. I will come to that part, right? Another aspect is that although this Buddhist site was excavated, but who built this Buddhist site, it is not known. This is the one aspect. This is the one significance. Another aspect, it suggests that this is one of the area where one of the Vara avatar, one of the image or idol of Vara avatar was found, which is one of the largest of that point of time. Means if you consider around 7th century AD time, right, at that point of time. But main thing is Buddhist site. Okay, yes, okay, fine. Now this is one aspect. So this is the about Buddhist site within the Hindu area, Hindu domain. Now I asked the question, but nobody has answered that which dynasty ruled in this region during this point of time. नहीं पढ़ा किसी ने? Kalchuri dynasty. The dynasty name is Kalchuri. Kalchuri dynasty. Kalchuri dynasty. Right? Before this, as I said, that Vakataka dynasty and your Gupta period was there, means their predecessor. Who was their predecessor? Their predecessor was Gupta and Vakataka. The region in which this dynasty ruled, I will tell that also, and succeeded by Chalukyas. And it is also said that this Kalchuris, there is, if you just Google search, there is another Kalchuri called Chedi Kalchuris. They were called as the later Kalchuris around 9th-10th century. But what we are talking right now, it is around 6th to 7th century, right? If I talk about around time period, so it is around 6th to 7th century AD. After this Gupta and Vakataka period, right? And after they were followed by Chalukyas. Okay, Chalukyas. Now the important kings of this Kalchu dynasty, let's discuss the important kings and their significance, because this can be asked by UPSC, that this, what is the peculiar about this Kalchuri dynasty. I should write it I actually. Kalchuri dynasty, right? So the famous king, can anyone tell me if anyone has read about this Kalchu dynasty? Any idea? Krishna Raja. Krishna Raja was the famous king. Krishna Raja. Then Buddha Raja. The two important king. Remember Raja in the end. Krishna Raja, Buddha Raja. But this Krishna Raja is important because of his contribution in the architecture. This is important because his contribution in art and culture. And what is special about his contribution in art and culture? He was the Shiva follower. Another thing is he was the Shaivite. He was the Shaivite follower of the Shiva, right? When I am talking about art and culture, let's discuss this part, that how Krishna Raja is an important person, and Krishna Raja belonged to Kalchuri dynasty. So UPSC may ask a question that match the following rulers and their dynasty correctly. इस तरह के question पूछे जा रहे हैं. And Kalchuri dynasty is not so famous. So any dynasty which is not so famous but in the news, we should pay attention. So in this art and culture, they are famous for, means this Krishna Raja is famous for his coin, numismatic art, right? So coins, and that too silver coins. So silver coins, okay? So these silver coins, again, so he was, means during this time his silver coins was in circulation, and because of the things depicted on his silver coins, this is found that Krishna Raja was the ruler, because these coins were found in Elephanta caves, the sites near Elephanta caves and Ellora. So these sites of Ellora and Elephanta, this is linked again with Krishna Raja. अगर कहीं एक question आता है that consider the following statement with respect to a ruler, for example, that this ruler considers one of the earliest one who constructed temple at this site, Elephanta cave, Ellora, and there is similarity in both the caves, Elephanta में भी और Ellora में भी. He constructed the Shiva temple. He constructed Shiva temple here. So that is thing is there. So if I talk about Elephanta, right? So if you just see, so he constructed one Shivite monument at Elephanta. So Shivite monument means a temple, or you can say monument to Lord Shiv. So Shiva temple was constructed. Shiva temple was constructed, right? And again at Ellora, Hindu cave was constructed. Hindu cave, you can say Hindu dwelling place. So Hindu cave was there in, and both the contribution done by this Krishna Raja. Now tell me how we come to know, or how ASI come to know that these two things done by Krishna Raja. What is the proof for it? What is the proof for it? That this thing, Elephanta, the construction of Shiva temple, and this Hindu cave is done by Krishna Raja. How? What is the proof? What is the evidence? Yes? What should be the evidence? Looking at the board, answer is on board itself. Yes? Tell me. Tell me how. Tell me how. Yes, at least you can try. सही गलत बात की बात है, but at least all of you can try that. How we come to know that these sites or the earliest evidence? What are the evidence which shows that it has relation to Krishna Raja? Engravings very good, Vrinda very good. Engravings बहुत अच्छा. Protush, image of the king on coins, absolutely perfect, very good. So this is the coins, exactly. So this coin, as I just said, on the answer is on the board. So these coins were found here. Coins were found here, and on those coins, the similar things which is here at the this capital, and the capital of this Kalchu dynasty was Mahishmati. Mahishmati. So because of the similarity in the coins, it was deciphered that it belonged to Krishna Raja, and the capital of this Kalchu dynasty, capital Mahishmati. महिष्मति जो आपने बाहुबली में सुना था ना महिष्मति, लेकिन ये वो वाला महिष्मति नहीं है. सो दिस महिष्मति इज ऑन द बैंक ऑफ रिवर नर्मदा. एंड आपने एक सुना होगा मंडला. मंडला एक जगह है एमपी में, मंडला, राइट. एग्जैक्ट लोकेशन कहां है वो नहीं किसी को पता, बट इट इज बिलीव्ड दैट इट इज समवेयर नियर मंडला, प्रेजेंट डे मंडला इन एमपी, एंड ऑन द बैंक ऑफ रिवर नर्मदा. So if suppose this terms come कि महिष्मति किस स्टेट में है, महिष्मति क्या है या किसके आसपास, तो you should have a rough idea that it is in MP, it is in Mandla district and in back of Mandla, but exact location हमें नहीं पता. बट मालवा रीजन है ये पता है. So that is about this dynasty, means कालचुरी के बारे में आपको इतना ही पता होना चाहिए, the reign during which this dynasty used to be there. Then important king, that is the Krishna Raja. His contribution in the field of art and culture, that is because not significant thing happened during his time in terms of war, in terms of means expansion, because this dynasty ruled for very brief time, means only for few generation. Later on they were overcome by Chalukyas. So this is the contribution. They, yes, they were the follower of Shiva, Shivite, right? This is there. But yes, as I told you that despite being a Hindu dominated region, this region have the traces of Buddhist architecture as well, right? That is mentioned. So it is there. And apart from this, many things were there in Brahmi script on this temples and all. Before this Brahmi script, other things are also there, other inscriptions called Nagari or Nagari, right? So Nagari inscription and Shankh Lipi. Have you ever heard about Shankh Lipi? शंख लिपि के बारे में किसी को पता है? शंख लिपि, शंख लिपि, some evidence of this Shankh Lipi based Shankh Lipi based inscriptions are also there. Shankh Lipi and Nagari. These two inscriptions apart from Brahmi script. Brahmi is the earliest one, right? So Shankh Lipi and Nagari script. What is special about this Shankh Lipi? Yes, tell me. Okay, no idea. Okay, fine. Actually, this Shankh Lipi, as you can see, this word Shankh, this Shankh. Actually, if you see the image of this inscription, it is like the conch. जो शंख होता है, conch. So it is something like this way, this way, this way. So means they have round and shell-like architecture this way. This way, this kind of script is there. Right? Means different kind of pattern which somewhat resembles like a conch or shankh. That's why it is known as Shankh Lipi. So far, it has not been deciphered. Deciphered. Right? So it is difficult to assess that what this script means, but yes, some traces or some inscriptions having this script was also there. Nagari was the earliest form of Devanagari, the current script which we use, the Lipi which we use. So it is the predecessor of Devanagari. Devanagari. It is believed that Devanagari and this Nagari originated from Brahmi. So its predecessor, Brahmi script. Brahmi. So Brahmi, Nagari, then Devanagari. Right? So this more refined form is Devanagari, which we use. Right? That is the thing. So this is about the script also. Means the scripts, the evidences are found in this site. Okay. Apart from this, you can further find it means on this particular excavation, means on the inscriptions, on the engravings, they found the name of few cities. The name of these cities are not important, but what is the significant whenever we find the name of some city? इससे क्या पता चलता है? If suppose there is some inscription, some engraving, right? What we assess कि अगर वहाँ पे नाम है, suppose जो यहाँ पे city थी, मथुरा, कौशाम्बी, पवट, कुछ ऐसी भी cities इनके भी current location नहीं पता है, but name of certain kings are also there. Like example, Bhimsen. So what this name of different cities signifies? इससे क्या पता चलता है? अगर किसी inscription में name of different cities mention है, name of different cities if they are mentioned, इससे क्या पता चलता है? What it shows? Yes, what it shows? Tell me. Yes, idea लगाओ आप. If you find some names on anything, what does it shows? In terms of art and culture, not in other terms, right? In terms of art and culture, yes. Tell me. Yes. What these names tell us? Yes, so Vrinda is saying good trade and federalism feature of empire. Okay, trade वाला point सही है. Religion ruled over there. Yes, so two meanings are there. Generally, inscriptions if mention cities. So either that will be part of an empire, means the city which is mentioned that should be the part of that empire, or we should have trade with that empire. Like if you read this Indus Valley civilization or this Harappa civilization, Harappa culture, you find that how we come to know that Mesopotamia, we had trade with Mesopotamia because of the seals of Mesopotamia found in Harappa. Similar manner, or some name of some city. Similarly, in Mesopotamia, name Sindhu or something was mentioned. It means that, okay, it is Indus Valley civilization. In the similar fashion, when we see the name of the cities, it means that either they had some relation and mainly trade relation, because something is there, okay, that city is mentioned by some writer or some author, and means in whatever manner they have mentioned those things, it means trade relation was there, or that should have been the part of their extended empire. Two things are there, but most of the time it is the trade. So reason is, means it shows that trade relations, one is trade relation with these cities, and extent of empire reach. So good, many of you answered correctly. Nice, good. Okay, so this is about this particular news. So any doubt? So this is the basic things. Main key takeaway from this discussion is that first of all, that why this excavation is significance, right? So Buddhist site in the Hindu dominated area. Then this site belonged to which dynasty during the time period? The Vara sculpture and everything which excavated belonged to Kalchuri dynasty. Again, I told you about their predecessor and their successor. Next thing we discussed about the important kings and their contribution. So Buddha Raja not significant contribution except some add-ons. Mainly thing done by Krishna Raja. In terms of art and culture, he was the Shaivite follower. His contribution in terms of silver coins. So if any question comes on the art of this coin development in India, you can mention his name also. Similarly, because in the past UPSC has asked this question about the development of coins in India. Then these caves. So if question comes on this Elephanta, Ellora, so you can see that on this coastal areas, till because these belong to the Bombay region, because Elephanta was the island area of Bombay itself. So these caves, they have reached from Malwa region to this region, and they come within the ambit of this empire. And again, as question UPSC keep asking question art and culture that what is the which of the following statement is correct with respect to the following cave, for example, Elephanta, Ellora. So we keep adding this information, value addition information, right? So this is about this information. Next, we all know that in the past week, Dada Saheb Phalke Award was also in the news, right? I hope all of you are aware. So who won the award? Who is the recent winner? Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Who was the winner? Yes, tell me. Who was the winner? कौन था विनर बताइए. So UPSC will not ask you the winner actually. Yes, Asha Parekh. Good. Good. First lady, Vrinda Singh. First lady in terms of what? First lady in terms of what? Yes, Asha Parekh. But UPSC will not ask Asha Parekh. So from UPSC perspective, we should know something extra, something more, that why this award is special. Why Government of India, right? Directorate of Films, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting consider it as an important, and why these awards announced during National Film Festival or National Award, National Film Fair Award and all. So what is the significance of this Dada Saheb Phalke? If you know, it's fine. Otherwise, I am telling you that Dada Saheb Phalke is known as father of Indian cinema. He also known as father of Indian cinema. Now my question is, why we are calling him father of Indian cinema? Any idea? Father of Indian cinema, why? Many times UPSC can ask questions because this is part of your mains also. They can ask the contribution of important people in the field of science and technology, in the field of art and all. So they can ask in that way also. In prelims, they can ask, means any year UPSC can throw a question on this kind of question, because last year, if you see, not this year, last year, when UPSC asked question on sports, so we never know that what UPSC may see. But as a student of GS, we should focus on these things, that what is the background at least to consider these as the part of national awards. So what make them so important? Highest award, film award of the country. Yes, so tell me. Okay, so why he is called father of Indian cinema? By common sense, we can say that because of his prominent contribution, right? Now, what kind of contribution he did? So he produced the first full-length film. First full-length film means not in terms of 3 hours. Full-length is a movie, complete movie of 40 minutes. So he produced first movie called Raja Harishchandra. So he produced first full length, or by full length I means complete. First full length movie, and the name of the movie is Raja Harishchandra in 1913. This was a silent movie, right? Only subtitles were there in English and Hindi, but no voice was there. It was a silent movie. Now, again, a question comes that by only producing this movie, this person can become father of Indian cinema? The question is no, because contribution should be much more significant than just producing a film. Even though it was the first film of by an Indian and is the first film which was in complete sense, right? But what is the special about is that that this person has set or laid the foundation for the Indian film industry. And when this person was working, that is when Phalke was working on this movie production, he was like a one-man army. He was a single person who was doing multiple things except holding the camera. He was a director, he was the producer, he even did the work to process those films, because if you see the earlier cameras, they have reels. So on reels, that negative image is captured and you have to wash that reel into a solution, chemical solution, so as to take the real image. Even that work was done by Phalke. Not just this, even makeup, even costume, all these things were done by this person. So you can see that what kind of labor it required and what kind of passion it required. At the same time, and how he inspired that in 1906 he was watching one movie. So he thought that why we should not produce movie? Why we are watching the movies produced by the foreigners, Britishers or Europeans in Bombay? So he arranged all the things for a movie from different locations, from France, from Germany, from Britain and all. He means whatever things required with respect to camera, with respect to other aspects, instruments and all. So that is the contribution. He was one of the single person who took it all. That's why he's the father of the Indian cinema, right? So this is, and the first person who won this award, Dada Saheb Phalke Award, it was the Devi Rani Chaudhrani. She was the actress Devi Rani Chaudhary during 1930s and 20s. She did good work, mainly in 30s and 40s. So Devi Rani Chaudhary. And in short, she is known as Devi Rani. She born in Madras Presidency during the British time, and later on she went on to London for higher education. Then she came back, she did a course in the cinematography, and then she joined as a actress, right? So this much is fine. So I hope. And one interesting thing about this movie of Harishchandra, I don't know whether you know or not, that when this movie when this idea came to his mind, to this Phalke, he gave advertisement in the newspapers for the different casts, different roles. For his surprise, not a single woman turned out for the audition or something. Means for the female roles, there was no woman, and it became like a Kapil Sharma show. If you seen Kapil Sharma show, men turn to women, right? Similar manner, then he asked the men, whatever men available to his team, he asked them to play the role of female. So the male persons, they played the role of the female candidate. So this is another interesting aspect of his first movie. And one more thing, that there are some dispute among the movie analysts and the historians, but they believe that because what happened, since this was one of the earliest movie, so some of the reels got damaged by this time, by the time government recognized it. So only few reels were left out, right? Means around 4 to 5 reels are there. We don't need to remember these numbers, but only few of them were survived. So what happened, that he made another film called Satyavadi Raja Harishchandra later in 1917. So some says that this reel, the so-called survived reels, they were the part of the this Satyavadi Harishchandra 1917, but official position is that government of India recognized that this Harishchandra 1913 should be the first official film of India, right? This is the thing. So again, if UPSC asks anything about it, we can write. If any question comes on mains, if any question comes in prelims, so surprisingly we can handle that kind of question, right? So that is the contribution of this man. That's why he is known as father of Indian cinema. I hope it is clear to you, right? It is clear or not? रश्मि इज आस्किंग सर, किसी मूवी में थ्रू अगर रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट हर्ट होता है, देन एज एन इंडिविजुअल व्हाट कैन आई डू, प्लीज टेल मी. यू कैन lodge an FIR in the police station. You can approach the district magistrate to stop screening of that movie in the local theaters. You can lodge your protest. You can write to the this government organization in grievance redressal mechanism, right? Online complaint you can file, and in local police station also you can file. But the only thing is provided that they should take your this protest seriously. Means single person they may not take care, but yes, if you can protest like Padmavat, the way people protest in Padmavat, then definitely even government have to take the recognition, right? Yes. Okay. Yes sir. Yes sir. Okay, fine. Also, let's move forward. So next topic is, next I will ask a question first to you just to check how many of you are following the things. Okay, so what is G3 group? What is G3 group? Next is, what is G3 group? Tell me the answer of this question. What is G3 group? Yes. What is the answer of this question? Tell me. G3 group. हाँ जी, क्या है G3 ग्रुप? किसको बोलते हैं G3 ग्रुप? Yes, tell me. G3 group. सर G4 पता है, ये नहीं. ओके ओके प्रतोष, बाकी लोग कुछ तो बताओ. चलो एक तो कम से ये बता दिया करो, हाँ सर है कि नहीं. नो आइडिया विक्रम. ओके प्रतोष ठीक है, 2 लोगों ने रिस्पॉन्स दिया. बाकी लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? एटलीस्ट टेल मी. वृंदा डोंट नो सर. ठीक है, ओके फाइन. विदाउट वेस्टिंग टाइम फर्दर, दिस G3 group, right? It is also known by other name, and this G3 group is for 3 countries, and I hope you have heard the another name of this group. Now you will feel surprised. It is for IPSA. India, Brazil, South Africa. It is for IPSA. IPSA is also known as G3 group, right? Not advertising agency Ashu, it is this IPSA. India, Brazil, South Africa forum. For this G3 group is used, and there is another name of this G3 group. It is also known as group by Brasilia Declaration 2003. So this group was formed by, it was formed by Brasilia Declaration 2003. So here is another important thing to be remember in mind, to keep in mind, that if question asks this way, either this way, if suppose it comes in prelims, what is G3 group, then you should know this is IPSA. Similarly, if question comes which group or which organization was established or which forum was established through Brasilia Declaration 2003? It is IPSA. So these are the few basics, because recently on the sidelines in New York, the foreign ministers of these countries met, and this grouping is also significant for global South-South cooperation. It is also a part of South-South cooperation. South-South cooperation. And what is the meaning of South-South cooperation? If you know, it's fine. If you do not know, then I am just telling. South-South here means, if you see, mainly the countries, it is not a general rule, but mainly major countries which is south of the equator in the southern hemisphere, they are mainly developing countries, poor nations, whereas countries in the upper part, that is in the upper half, if you see US, right, if you see Europe, if you see even the parts of this European belt, so they are developed nations. But if you go to southern half, that is Latin America, South America, most of the Africa is there, then again South Asia and all, so they are developing nations. So these three countries belong to three continents, right? Brazil, South America, India, South Asia, and South Africa to Africa. So they act as a important pillar of South-South cooperation. What we need to remember as of now, that UPSC can ask direct questions, and again for surprising thing they can pick this kind of thing either in prelims or either in mains. So what we should remember, few things, that what are the key initiatives started by IPSA, and why this is also important, because this year sixth summit of IPSA will held in India. Sixth summit will be held in India, will be held in November in India. On the sidelines of G20 summit, because India is going to host a G20 summit as well, on the sideline of G20 summit. Now see, UPSC can confuse you in any way. This was established in 2003, but only 6th summit is going to happen. So this is not an annual affair. So if UPSC will write one statement, that consider the following statement about IPSA. First, they can say that it is established by, suppose, any other Fortaleza declaration. In Brazil, there is another place called Fortaleza declaration, or Sao Paulo declaration, means different cities are there. First thing is. Second statement, they say that recently 12th summit or 20th summit, you will feel कि हाँ 2003 में बना था, अब तक तो इतने summit हो चुके होंगे, but only 6th was there. Right, so this is about the basic background of this. Next important thing is, what are the key initiatives taken by IPSA? So we should have that knowledge of key initiatives. Key initiatives of IPSA to promote close cooperation. Key initiatives. Key initiatives taken by them. So what are these key initiatives? First is 14 joint groups they established. 14 joint groups. And nowadays it is quite a common fashion to form the joint group. So this joint group as a term you can use most of the IR questions. That joint groups or bilateral treaties and something, that joint groups have been formed. But this number can vary, but joint groups are there. For example, joint groups for working in the area of health, education, defense, science and technology, cyber terrorism, all these things are there. Next is, they've also founded IPSA Fund. IPSA Fund, again to fund the programs related to poverty and hunger. This fund was established to address the issue of poverty and hunger across these three countries mainly, right? Because these three countries are more or less similar, because these three are democracies, they are one of the major economies of their respective continent, and they face similar situation, similar kind of challenges, right? Another aspect of this IPSA Fund joint groups, right? There is another, there is economic forum, right? So they fund IPSA Business Forum. IPSA Business Forum. So this, if you can remember these small things with respect to important organization, international groupings, your work is done. क्योंकि एग्जाम में हमें यही सब चीज याद नहीं आती है, राइट. सो इप्सा बिजनेस फोरम, and in India it is the CII, which coordinates India's participation. Confederation of Indian Industries. It is CII which coordinates India's participation. So this much is sufficient for this IPSA, right? And other development when they will happen, means summit is about to happen this year. So when other development will be happen, we will take care of that, right? We will have a look of that. Is it fine? Clear? Any doubt? Is it fine? Next, the news will discuss about misuse of Manrega fund, right? So briefly, I will touch on this news as well. Misuse of Manrega fund. So can anyone tell me the context? So we will discuss basically MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Context, yes. अच्छा, प्रोसेस है एकदम झकास सर. ओके, गुड. So MG Narega context, as I told you that it is the in one of the report it was highlighted, and government is scrutinizing the records of certain states, that some states are misusing the funds of Manrega. And when I say misuse of the funds of Manrega, how it is? Either they are doing corruption or what? It is not corruption actually. It is misusing. Means something which is intended for a desired purpose or for a given purpose, that it should be used for this purpose, but you are using for other purpose. It means you are misusing that fund for other things, right? So here in Manrega, there is, as per the official guidelines, two things are there. 60% of the funds should be used for the agricultural development or the allied fields, right, to generate livelihood in the rural areas, right? I will cover two other basics of Manrega, but right now I am telling that which rule is violated. What is the guideline? So guideline is 60% of the funds should be there for agriculture and allied fields. Agriculture and allied field, because this is the rural area program. So in rural area, agriculture is the major activity, and allied field means fields related to the agriculture only in one way or the other way. So to boost agriculture, to promote allied fields, it will in turn generate the employment, because the basic objective of MG Narega is to generate the livelihood opportunities that is there. So 60% of the fund should be for this, majority of the fund, whereas 40% of your funds should be used for creating rural infrastructure, administrative activities, creating other assets, etc. So means in 40% you can do other things. But what happened? In many cases, most of the states, they did reverse. Means in most of the cases, they start using more than 50%, not just 40%, more than 50% in creating rural infrastructure, which is not the real intention of thing. And what happened? That even though you are developing infrastructure or creating asset, but it is not generating that kind of employment, sustainable employment, or something meaningful or creative employment, right? You are just simply giving the emoluments or remuneration to the people, but it is not creating a cycle of employment, That is the thing. And what it lead to? It lead to the burden on the central government, because who is giving you fund? It is the central government who is giving you the fund, right? And it is the central government which is under pressure now, because you have misused the funds. And we know agriculture is very sensitive topic in our country. फार्मर्स की प्रोटेस्टिंग, हमें पैसा नहीं मिला, हमें पैसा नहीं मिला, हमारा इरिगेशन नहीं हो रहा है, हमें पानी नहीं मिल रहा है. तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज कॉट इन बिटवीन कि हमने पैसा दिया, वो यूज दिया, हम क्या करें. एंड किसानों को ये सब पता नहीं है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट रीडिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ रिपोर्ट्स. और वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को लगता है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने पैसा नहीं दिया. इट इज वन ऑफ द बिलीफ. सो दिस इज द thing that this rule is violated. So you can mention, if there is a question comes on any of the scheme, you can mention this kind of data that recently in one of the report this thing was highlighted. Another aspect of Manrega, let me discuss briefly in case those who have not read Manrega before, that what are these core goals or core areas, right? So let me tell you its core objectives. So basically 4 core objectives are there. Few of it I have already explained. Core objectives. What are these core objectives? So one is to give job guarantee. Job guarantee of at least 100 days. Job guarantee at least for 100 days. है ना? At least for 100 days. If there is delay in giving the job, or if there is less than this, then penalty will be implemented or imposed. Penalty will be imposed. Next is to generate productive employment, strengthening the livelihood. Strengthening the livelihood opportunities. As you see, this 60% case, that if you promote agriculture allied field, then it will generate livelihoods. Next is to strengthening Panchayati Raj institutions, because in this Manrega, the work assignment, that who will get the work, what kind of work is to be done, what kind of activities to be planned in our village or in the nearby villages, which comes under that panchayat. It is the panchayat which decide. So this is also decision making at the local level. That's why this Manrega is also known as bottom up approach program. I will come to that. So it also strengthen PRIs. So to strengthening PRIs, it is one of the objectives. कि PRIs को कुछ काम दो. Let them make the organization of self-governance, right? Self-empowerment को देना चाहिए, because these PRIs keep complaining कि हमें कुछ दिया ही नहीं है, खाली 73rd 74th बना के छोड़ दिया, पावर ही नहीं है, क्या करें हम लोग, क्या करें, फंड्स नहीं है हमारे पास, नहीं. तो उनको भी काम दिया कि तुम्हारे पास जो फंड आ रहा है, चलो यूज करो अभी, राइट? अभी क्या काम करो, यू पीपल शुड डिसाइड. So you are responsible for your village development, because you are very close to the people. Okay, that is one there. Another aspect of this is proactive social inclusion, proactively ensuring social inclusion. So proactively promoting social inclusion. So how this will be done? Proactively promoting social inclusion. How this will be done? कैसे होगा ये? This proactively promoting social inclusion. How it is being done? Yes, tell me. आशु इज सेइंग सर आपकी क्लास में हमेशा न्यू थिंग्स ही पढ़ते हैं. ओके, धन्यवाद. Yes, now tell me how this proactively promoting social inclusion, how it is being done. कैसे होता है ये? How it is being done? कैसे सोशल इंक्लूजन, अच्छा सोशल इंक्लूजन क्या होता है पहले ये बताओ, उसके बाद ही तो पता चलेगा कि सोशल इंक्लूजन होता कैसे है। यस, व्हाट इज सोशल इंक्लूजन? सुना है नहीं सुना टर्म? फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, सोशल इंक्लूजन कैसे होता है? यस टेल मी। मुझे लग रहा है आधे लोगों को तो नींद ही आ रही है शायद, हैं? फिर मुझे बोलना पड़ेगा जागते रहो। यस, ये मौसम की नज़ाकत है या दिन भर की थकान है या मैं बोरिंग पढ़ा रहा हूँ, इन तीनों में से क्या है कि रिस्पॉन्स इतना स्लो आ रहा है? यस, कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन को हटाओ, प्रोटेस्ट इज सेइंग यस। और सी सोशल इंक्लूजन मीन सोसाइटी में जो लोग भी सबको साथ लेके चलना, दैट इज सिंपल मीनिंग ऑफ सोशल इंक्लूजन। And this Manrega say that anyone who is adult, 18 plus years of age, irrespective of caste, irrespective of gender, right, and irrespective of even the economic criteria, means कई स्कीम से हमने देखा होगा बीपीएल वालों को ही या people who below poverty line, right, only they can apply, or people belong to certain categories, scheduled caste, OBC, ST, right, they can apply, or women for say. But in this case, it is anyone who belong to that rural area, any rural household who is willing to work and who is adult, he or she can apply. They can apply, right? So in this way means when something, for example, in my village, if I as a PRI wanted to construct some canal, some pond for this water harvestation or water collection activity, right, water harvesting project, I need villagers. If I allow everyone कि भाई अपने गांव की जमीन है, अपना खुद का तालाब बनाना है, मानसून आने वाला है, पानी को बचाना है, वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग करना है, सो दैट खेती, क्योंकि क्या है टारगेट, एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड एक्टिविटीज, एग्रीकल्चर को सपोर्ट करना है, तो कहां से पानी आएगा, कि कब तक ट्यूबवेल पर रहोगे, एंड वाटर लेवल को भी मेंटेन करना है, प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ सॉइल को भी मैनेज करना है. सो will you work with me? So I ask everyone. So while doing this thing, so there is like a feeling of commonness, oneness, कि देखो हमने सबने मिलकर तालाब बनाया. There is a feeling. Otherwise क्या होता है, ये उसका है, वो उसका है, ये उसका है. But if something is being done together, similarly if something is being constructed, for example toilets in the schools, तो सबके बच्चे आएंगे वहां पे पूरे गांव के. It means that we have contributed something, so it lead to social inclusion. The feeling of working together means those barriers should be sorted out. So this barriers should be crossed. So that's why it is proactively promoting social inclusion. So there is no caste barrier, no religious barrier, nothing. Only thing is you should belong to that village, and you should be willing to work. Right? So this is about this Manrega. Other things apart from this, some basic thing, that certain keywords which you should use. So this scheme was launched in 2005, right, 2005, with an aim. The aim of the scheme is what means, we have discussed the core objective, but what else is there, what is the special about this scheme? And this is one of the reason of Manrega that UPA came to the power second time. आपने देखा जब मनमोहन सिंह became prime minister second time again, बिकॉज मनरेगा प्लेड एन इंपॉर्टेंट. 2004 में सरकार आई, 2005 में मनरेगा लॉन्च किया, इसने अच्छा काम किया, तो दोबारा 2009 में फिर से यूपीए की सरकार आई. सो मनरेगा प्लेड एन ह्यूज रोल, एंड इवन टुडे मनरेगा इज अ लाइफ सेविंग lifeline for the rural people. Even during COVID times when people were facing the issues, especially in rural areas, it played a huge role. इसके ऊपर काफी केस स्टडी भी है. मनरेगा इज वन ऑफ द acclaimed project across the world, not just India. बहुत अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट है. तो इसमें और क्या है, ये कीवर्ड्स आते हैं, आप लिख सकते हो जैसे अपने आंसर वगैरह में. इट इज बॉटम अप, इट इज पीपल सेंटर्ड. सो व्हाट आर द कीवर्ड्स, व्हाट इज द स्पेशलिटी अबाउट दिस? it is bottom up, it is bottom up, people centered, people centered, people should be at the center, लोगों को ध्यान में रख के बनाया गया. पार्टिसिपेटिव, इट इज पार्टिसिपेटिव, डिमांड ड्रिवन, demand driven, participative, 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 and right based approach, and right based approach or program. So what do you mean a right based? Right based means something which you can claim कि मुझे आपने प्रॉमिस किया था गारंटी एक्ट, 100 दिन की गारंटी आपने दी थी कम से कम, कहां है वो गारंटी? सो यू कैन चैलेंज दैट थिंग, you can make a complaint for that, and for that you will get compensation and the concerned person will be fined, right? So that is right based. मेरा हक है, this is my right, right? So you are not entitled कि हाँ आपको मिलेगा, नहीं मिला तो भी कोई बात नहीं, मिल गया तो भी कोई बात नहीं. But here नहीं मिला तो कैसे नहीं मिला? You can question, you can hold the authorities accountable. That is there. Participative, as we discussed, that PRIs are there. People together decide through PRIs कि क्या करना है. एंड अगेन डिमांड ड्रिवन, अगर गांव में किसी एसेट की जरूरत है कि दैट वी नीड टू हार्वेस्ट वाटर, वी नीड टू मेक सम स्कूल बिल्डिंग, और वी नीड टू रिपेयर स्कूल बिल्डिंग और समथिंग, सो यू कैन टेक लोकल डिसीजन कि हमें जरूरत किस चीज की है, व्हाट वी नीड एक्चुअली. पीपल सेंटर्ड मीन्स अगेन पीपल इज एट द फोकस कि इनको लाइवलीहुड देना है, इनको थोड़ा स्किल. एंड अगेन this मनरेगा is unskilled work, it is not skilled work, unskilled work, because we know that people in the rural area, especially poor people, they lack the skill, but we have to feed them because we are a socialist state. This is moral responsibility of ours, moral as well as constitutional, so we have to feed them. So to overcome this skill related barrier, we came with this project that at least you can do certain manual work, but or some work which require minimalistic skills, you can do that kind of thing. So for that is there. And bottom up, as I said, that is a people at the lower rung, because if you see in this pyramid, so here PRIs, either your state government, and here your central government. So earlier what happened, center decide कि क्या होना चाहिए, या स्टेट डिसाइड, बट नाउ इट इज द PRI who decide. So PRI send the report upward and they here likewise. So it is bottom up. The decision making is started from bottom and then it is moving up, bottom up. Whereas in other cases, most of the cases, it is the center which decide. It is the central government, then state government work on that, and then finally local, means PRI का नंबर ही नहीं आ पाता है. So that is the thing, right? So this is about the basic idea of मनरेगा. Is it clear? Is it fine? I believe that who are listening it for the first time, at least it is clear to them. Other things which we should look into further, we will keep looking when issues will come. What are the issues, challenge? It is one of the issues which we are discussing, right? Misuse of fund. There are other issues as well, right? We will discuss those also when appropriate article will come, right? One more thing, that how funds are devolved under this scheme. The funds are devolved based on the projects being undertaken. जैसा जो स्टेट जैसा लेगा, फिक्स नहीं है कि यूपी को इतना ही देना है, एमपी को इतना देना है, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर यूपी में अगर ज्यादा काम हो रहे हैं, if in the local level more works is being done in the UP, then UP will get more share. अगर यूपी में काम नहीं हो रहा है तब नहीं होगा. So it is again the demands generated from the state, accordingly funds are devolved, right? Okay, so any doubt? Yes? Okay, so this is about the मनरेगा. Let me discuss the other news. Next we will discuss again another scheme. So the scheme is प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना. Again important scheme, many times question asked. So next is प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना. So why we are discussing this scheme? प्रधानमंत्री कौशल means skill vikas yojana. So recently what happened, let me tell you the context that why we are discussing this news. First of all, so we are discussing this news because recently the standing committee of the parliament, it came out with its observation that around out of 4 lakh, out of 4 lakh candidate, only 8% candidate got the job. आपने जिन लोगों को स्किल सिखाया, कौशल स्किल आपने अराउंड 4 lakh, मीन्स दिस इज द ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ स्टैंडिंग कमिटी. This is not my observation. This is the observation of a standing committee. Observation of standing committee, right? SC here means standing committee. So in its report, it highlighted few red flags. What was the first red flag? That out of 4 lakh candidate, only 8% got the job or placement. Only 8% placed. So what kind of placement you are making? Means you are giving skills, but only 8% people got the job. What kind of skill based program it is? So some problem is there. One of the reason was that delay in certification, delay in giving certification. Means मान लीजिए आपने आज कोर्स कर लिया, आपको सर्टिफिकेट मिल रहा है आज से 6 महीने बाद, 1 साल बाद. डिग्री जैसे मीन्स अगर मान लो आप ग्रेजुएट हो गए और आपको यूपीएससी का फॉर्म भरना है, आपको डिग्री मिले 2 साल बाद, तो फिर कहां से आप अपियर हो गए यूपीएससी में? सेम वे. सो देयर वाज डिले इन, दिस इज वन ऑफ द रीजन, मींस दिस इज द ओवरऑल ऑब्जर्वेशन. दिस इज वन रीजन आई शेयर्ड यू, दैट देयर इज डिले इन गिविंग सर्टिफिकेट्स टू देम. Another reason what this committee said, that there is a delay in release of funds by the states. There is delay of release of funds by the states from the state treasury. Suppose at local level some skill based center is running on. मान लीजिए मैं कोई स्किल सेंटर चला रहा हूँ कि चलो मैं आप लोगों को एक स्किल सिखाऊंगा, टाइपिंग कैसे करते हैं या जो भी है, बट अब मैंने आपको सिखा दिया, बिकॉज इन दिस व्हाट हैपेंड दिस दैट डिफरेंट स्किल सेंटर्स आर रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट कि ठीक है आप किसी को कोई काम सिखाते हो, ठीक है हम आपको एफिलिएट कर देंगे, वी विल रिकॉग्नाइज यू, आपको लाइसेंस देंगे और आप अपने एरिया में जितने लोगों की लिस्ट है कि सपोज आपके यहाँ 100 लोग ट्रेनिंग करने आते हैं तो आप हमें बिल दीजिए, हम आपका पास करेंगे. बट देयर इज डिले इन द फंड. सो व्हाट इज द मोटिवेशन कि मैं अपना दुकान ही बंद कर दूंगा, मैं बोलूंगा नहीं भाई मेरी तनख्वाह नहीं आ रही है, मैं कहां से चलाऊं. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अदर रीजन. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट स्किल मिसमैच, वन ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट रीजन, आप जो स्किल सिखा रहे हो अंडर दिस प्रधानमंत्री कौशल विकास योजना, those skills are outdated or at all not required by the industry. आपने किसी को मान लिए ऐसा काम दिया, मान लो नोकिया का चार्जर आपने किसी को सिखाया कि कैसे सही करते हैं, अब नोकिया ही मार्केट में नहीं है, क्या फायदा? यू नीड समवन हु कैन असेंबल द मोबाइल्स और दिस टच स्क्रीन मोबाइल्स. तो आपने कुछ ऐसा स्किल दिया जो अभी आउटडेट हो गया. सपोज टाइपिंग, अभी आप किसी को टाइपिंग वाला स्किल सिखा रहे हो, टाइपिंग ही नहीं है मार्केट में, आप अब प्रिंट आउट का जमाना आ गया. सो मींस द थिंग इज रिक्वायरमेंट समथिंग एल्स, यू आर डूइंग समथिंग एल्स. नाउ सपोज यू आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स, सो यू शुड गिव ट्रेनिंग फॉर इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स, बट आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप ट्रेनिंग किसी और चीज की दे रहे हो. सो देयर इज मिसमैच बिटवीन द स्किल्स एंड द इंडस्ट्रियल रिक्वायरमेंट. सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ रीजन दैट व्हाई दीज पीपल आर नॉट एबल टू प्लेस. सो lack of synchronization between the industrial demand industries demand and skill implanted and skill right. So this is another reason. And one more I discussed, delay in releasing of funds by the state treasury. Okay, another reason is, another thing which report highlighted, approximately 20% people who enroll in this program, suppose 100 लोगों ने एडमिशन लिया कि भैया हम स्किल सीखेंगे, आउट ऑफ देम 20% ड्रॉप्ड आउट कि मजा नहीं आ रहा है, मजा ही नहीं आ रहा है, स्किल ही बेकार है, या दे गॉट डिमोटिवेटेड ड्यूरिंग द प्रोसेस. सो टू रिड्यूस दिस ड्रॉप आउट, committee suggested that you should find out that what is the reason of dropout and then make decisions accordingly. Similarly, in this case, as I told you, the delay in issue of certification. So again, this standing committee said, fast track the process of issuing certificate. आप ऑनलाइन इश्यू करो, क्या दिक्कत है? प्रिंट डिग्री बाद में देना, प्रिंट सर्टिफिकेट बाद में देना, ऑनलाइन दो. बट why you are making them to wait for the certificate? And another thing is, organize Rozgar Mela in association with the industries. This is very important. This is very important. Organize Rozgar Mela in association with industries. This is very important. So when you will organize Rozgar Mela with industries, suppose Mahindra and Mahindra organized Mela, and now these people will come, so at least they can make them understand कि देखो हमें क्या चाहिए, हमें वो इंसान चाहिए जो ये काम कर सके, इंजन की उसको नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. सपोज एप्पल तो खैर नहीं आने वाला, बट फॉर द अंडरस्टैंडिंग, एप्पल गोज टू दिस मेला, देखें कि ठीक है आपको ना एंड्रॉयड में ये मीन्स आईफोन में ये बनाना आना चाहिए. सपोज गूगल गोज एंड्रॉयड में ये आना चाहिए, ये स्किल हमें आपके लिए चाहिए. सो मीन्स देयर कैन बी एन इंटरफेस between the industry and the candidate, right? College should act as, or that this center should act as an interface, and local authorities should make the provision कि चलो local level पे ये रोजगार मेला होने चाहिए, so that the candidate should get the exposure कि मुझे करना क्या है. Because when the companies will come, they will give an idea कि अगर आप हमारे साथ आते हो तो आपका फ्यूचर कहाँ जाएगा, आप क्या कर सकते हो. मान लीजिए कोई इलेक्ट्रिक अप्लायंस की कंपनी आई, वो बता सकती है आप हमारे साथ एसी को रिपेयर कर सकते हो, आगे जाके एसी मैन्युफैक्चर में हेल्प कर सकते हो. टुमारो, इवन दो राइट नाउ यू आर लाइक अ टेक्नीशियन, बट टुमारो यू कैन बिकम एन इंजीनियर ऑल्सो. वी विल गिव यू द इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री एज वेल आफ्टर सम टाइम. आप कर सकते हो किसी अच्छे कॉलेज से. सो दिस वे, सो इट विल मोटिवेट, इट विल फर्दर ब्रिज द गैप. Right? And this curriculum design, it should also in close association with the industry. आप industry body से पूछिए कि क्या सिखाना चाहिए. And again, for on-job training, this is also a recommendation of the committee that there should be the provision of on-job training. Although this thing is being done by the government, but it is not actually implemented on that scale, right? So that is there. There is this government has provision, but not people are taking seriously. It means, so there should be incentive based. Another thing government did in this Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, that the one who will complete, to address this dropout case, the one who will complete the certification, complete training and all, because this is free of cost. So once you complete this skill based training, you will get remuneration also. कि चलो आपने अगर कोई ITI डिप्लोमा किया, कुछ भी ऐसा किया, आपको 8,000 रुपए का मॉनेटरी रिवॉर्ड भी मिल गया. So means so as to motivate you, so as to reward you कि आइए और लर्न कीजिए और आगे बढ़िए. So this is the another aspect of this thing, right? So this much is fine. Okay. So here I am stopping. Next set of this important news and all we will discuss in the next week. So I hope these schemes and these challenges which we discussed through these articles and all, and the earliest one, cultural part, you enjoyed it, you learned things about it. So this is the way you should remember the thing, that okay, what are the issues, what are the problems, what are the things happened. We have discussed one IR article also, right? IPSA. So basic things we should cover, right? So thank you, good night you all. Okay, we'll meet in the next session. Thank you everyone. Any doubt, anything else? I am here only. Okay, Ravi, thank you. Good night, Vrinda. Thank you, Vikram. Ashu, thank you. Okay, so keep revising the things. अच्छे से पढ़ते रहिए, right? So we'll meet in next week. Okay, good night once again. Thank you all of you. Bye, take care. Okay, Ashu is saying one more time social inclusion. अच्छा, ठीक है. I will explain social inclusion. Ravi is saying Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize will come in science and technology section. Ask the science and technology sir to discuss that part, right? It will be there in science and technology, because all of them or respective faculty will discuss, because there is no Nobel Prize for this. But yes, in literature one was there. I will discuss literature next one, right? Yes. So Ashu has just asked one question with respect to this Nobel Prize, right? So in not Nobel Prize, sorry, this social inclusion. See, social inclusion like financial inclusion. Social inclusion basically a very wide term. Social inclusion in economic sense means that in the रूरल इकोनॉमी एवरीवन शुड बी एबल टू पार्टिसिपेट. पहला चीज ये कि देखिए सोसाइटी में हर तरह के लोग रह रहे हैं. अगर मान लो मैं एक एग्जांपल लेता हूं, दिस इज अ सोसाइटी, दिस इज द वुमेन, दिस इज एससी, दिस इज एसटी, दिस इज ओबीसी एंड वन इज माइनॉरिटी. And if I action further, then physically disabled, PH category. Now just understand, if in my society, suppose this is my society, if in my society I launch certain program, certain scheme, and where I charged some money, for example अगर मैं कोई भी काम करता हूँ, suppose स्कूल खोलता हूँ, suppose this is my school. If I keep fees 500 rupees per month, and suppose most of the people are poor, they are unable to afford this fees of rupees 500 per month, so their children will not be able to join or attend my school. Okay, so this means this thing is not inclusive, means I am not including all of them in the field of education. They are not able to access the education. Similarly, if suppose I make a provision of टैप वाटर, अब मैं मान लीजिए क्या करूं कि इनके घर पे मैंने पानी दे दिया, इधर दे दिया, कुछ लोगों को छोड़ दिया कि अभी यहां पे पानी बाद में देंगे, नहीं है. अगेन दिस इज नॉट सोशल इंक्लूजन, बिकॉज आई हैव लेफ्ट आउट समवन. ऐसी मैं कोई रोड ऐसी बनवाता हूं जिसमें फिजिकल पर्सन को दिक्कत होती है, फिजिकल डिसेबल पर्सन को चलने में, या कुछ ऐसा मैंने ब्रिज बना दिया. जैसे आप देखो पहले के रेलवे स्टेशन होते थे, तो अर्लियर रेलवे स्टेशन में एस्केलेटर नहीं होता था, अभी भी नहीं है. तो अगर मान लीजिए किसी इंसान को प्लेटफॉर्म पार करना है, right, and this is a bridge, how that person, the person who is PH, अब वो कैसे चढ़ेगा? No lift, no, again this is not inclusive. So in one way or the other way, if you are leaving someone, that is not socially inclusion. But in Manrega what is there? You are including everyone. You are not discriminating कि तुम ये हो तुम वो, and everyone can participate in this employment program. So in that sense it is inclusive. So this program, at least in economic sense, in the participant sense, making it inclusive. And again, social inclusion is a wider term, as I said, in terms of politics. If suppose somebody cannot contest election, if suppose somebody cannot attend a school, somebody cannot do something, it means you are excluding that person. It is not inclusive. So this is the meaning of social inclusion. Social inclusion. Is it fine now? Okay, Ashu, is it fine? ठीक है, अभी clear है? Is it fine now? I hope with this example it is clear to you. Yes? Okay. Okay. So fine. So it was a doubt. Okay, so then we'll meet in the next week. Thank you everyone.